Development of a labor arbitration. It first started back in 1965. It was used before World War II. Executive Order 9017 established National War Labor Board, which used arbitration to avoid strikes in war materials production plants during World War II. Essential features of this order included a no strike, no lockout agreement, and a National War Labor Board. Workers Trilogy. In 1960, the Supreme Court issued its decision on what has become known as the Steelworkers Trilogy. The trilogy created the process of federalization of the law of collective bargaining agreement, which began with the enactment of Section 301 of Taft-Hartley Act. Elements of a typical arbitration proceedings: selection of arbitrator, pre-hearing activity, arbitration hearing, and the arbitrator's decision. Selection and characteristics of arbitrator. The process begins with the request from the parties to an agency for a list of potential arbitrators. Approximately 30,000 requests per year for lists of arbitrators for which they make their selection. Unions rely on three sources, which are Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. Second would be major source is the Arbitration Association. Third would be the 26 states and local agencies. Selecting the right arbitrator. The striking method would be eliminating names from a list until one arbitrator's name remains. Striking and ranking, eliminating names from lists and selecting the highest ranked remaining name. Third would be requesting a direct appointment. Types of arbitrators are ad hoc arbitrators and permanent arbitrators. Decision to arbitrate. If parties aren't able to settle on an agreement by the end of the grievance procedure, one or both parties must decide whether to appeal or arbitrate. Each party must evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of its own position as well as the opposite party position. Hearing activities. Both parties need to take several steps to prepare for a hearing. Some steps are meeting with witnesses, contacting the opposing representative, preparation and arrangements of exhibits for evidence, and exploring settlement alternatives. Arbitration hearing is held on a date convenient to the parties and arbitrator. The arbitration hearing typically varies in length from a few hours to several days, with the typical length being 1 day. They will present an opening statement, question witnesses, present evidence, and make oral closing arguments or write the post-hearing briefs. Comparison of arbitration and judicial proceedings. Arbitration is the common law of the shop, liberal admission of evidence. Judicial proceedings is the principle of stare decisis and formal rules of evidence. The arbitrator's decision. Names of the representatives involved, background on the case, the issue statement and facts about the grievance, pertinent positions of labor agreement, summary of union and managerial positions, analysis of evidence and argument. Decision guidelines used by arbitrators. They use the burden of proof, witness credibility, and cross-examination. Another one is clear and unambiguous language, intent of the parties, past practice, and previous labor arbitration decisions. Procedural problems. Two general categories of procedural problems are time delay and expense of arbitration.